If Ian Garry beats Shavkat Rakhmonov at UFC 310, you have to stop doubting him. You can root against him, but to doubt him would be foolish because I think Shavkat should run away with this thing. I'm expecting a Shavkat finish. I think this is a lot for Ian Garry right now. However, I've been wrong before. I was wrong about Ian Garry before. I thought Jeff Neal would be the one to do it to him. Jeff Neal was a little too friendly, though, tapping gloves every other minute of the fight. Shavkat's not going to do that. That's why I think Shavkat's going to be mean. He's going to bring that attitude. He's going to bring that ferociousness, that intent, right? Malice intent. He's going there to hurt Ian Garry. This guy finishes fights, okay? But can Ian Garry really pitch a perfect game and go out there and circle around the cage and, not get cut off by Shavkat? Shavkat's not just going to follow this guy. This ain't someone who's not a thinking man either. Shavkat knows what he's doing. He's going to try to cut the cage off. You know what I mean? If Ian Garry can still overcome that and he could overcome Shavkat Rakhmonov, you have to give him credit. I don't want to hear nothing about, Shavkat got fraud checked. Shavkat got fraud checked. I don't want to hear none of that, bro. I don't want to hear none of it. Because Shavkat Rakhmonov finishes fights. Anybody that he's fought, Jeff Neal, Wonderboy. I've seen people trying to talk bad about Wonderboy now, talking about 40-year-old Wonderboy. Dude, 40-year-old Wonderboy is better than your average 25-year-old anything. You're better 30-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Wonderboy is so good that at 40 years old, that's the level of like a lot of in their prime guys. Do you get me? He's an exception to the rule. I think Ian Garry is up there for most hated. I don't really hate the guy. I think his personal life is his personal life, and I don't really care about it. A lot of people do, though. Sean Strickland's made videos about it. MMA Guru's made videos about it. In my personal opinion, that's what got him out of that first Jeff Neal fight when they pushed it back. The first time he was supposed to fight Jeff Neal, he got really sick. I believe, as I've stated in other videos, I've used the water molecule experiment for you guys. That negativity affected Ian Garry. That negativity, opening up his phone every single time he got on social media and seeing cuck and, other hateful things thrown his way. That stuff is, if you're not prepared for it, if you don't know how to handle it, if you're not ready for it, it can consume you. You know what I mean? It's a tidal wave of negativity and hate, and that can consume you most definitely. He pulled out of the fight, moving on, going into the next one. Wasn't as bad. The heat and spotlight wasn't on him as much. It's never as bad the second time around. He comes out on top. If he does that again, if he triumphs over Shavkat Rakhmonov, you have to give him his credit. You have to. I'm not saying you got to root for him, but you have to give him his credit. And something that I see a lot of with today's fan base is someone can be so good, but then once they lose, it's weird. It's like the people who hate on this guy, Ian, will then start to hate on Shavkat because Shavkat couldn't get it done. He didn't get it done. You know what I mean? And it's like, now Shavkat's a bum. Now Shavkat fought 40-year-old Wonderboy. He fought the same guys that Ian fought, Magny and Jeff Neal. Oh, those guys aren't any good. No, they're good. Shavkat finished them. You know what I'm saying? But that's what people do now. They try to rewrite history. They discredit people. And I don't think it's right. I think if Ian Garry goes in there and beats Shavkat, and same for Shavkat. If Shavkat goes in there and beats Ian Garry, that's another guy. Truthfully, I think Shavkat wins. I think Shavkat finishes Ian Garry, and I think this is just a case of someone who needs to, not right now. He needs to maintain. He needs to stay in the pocket, keep going, take time off if needed, do whatever it is, and you'll get back on track. He's got Michael Bisping to look at. He's got many examples of people that have won it later in their career, people who have been knocked out and won it later. I mean, look at Bilal Muhammad. Vicente Luque knocked him cold, and now he's got the strap. Now he rules all. Not really, Dana White does, but you get my point, right? He's the king of the welterweights, right? So Ian Garry is one of those guys. I really do think so, but I think it's coming at a time with another guy. It's coming at the time of Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat's not like 36, 37 years old either, on the last legs of his chin. You get me? People are talking about, oh, his chin, his chin, his chin. I think Shavkat's chin is going to hold up. He's only 29, and I haven't seen the kind of punching power from Ian Garry. I just haven't. He doesn't have that kind of punching power. He's more of a kicker. He's more of a volume hitter. He's like a mix between, I want to say Diaz, because Diaz is more volume. You know what I'm saying? Where he's not really Conor like that. He's got the striking style, the kicks and things like that, but Conor was more with his hands. All of his kicks were to lead up to his left hand and set the left hand up with his kicks. But Ian, it's really his kicks that's great for him. Against a pressure fighter that's going to look to crowd those kicks, you're going to see Ian Garry have to throw his hands. You're going to see him have to earn respect with his hands. The question is, can he do that on Shavkat Rakhmonov? I think he can, but I think Shavkat is good enough to take him. Again, he's in his prime. This ain't a guy on the last legs of his chin. He can take the shots, keep pushing forward, and make Ian Garry uncomfortable. And that, I do believe, will happen. And I do believe Shavkat Rakhmonov finishes Ian Garry, and it's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to it. But again, if I'm wrong, which I have been before, but I've been right before as well. Let the record show. Over 1,000 videos we've got, yeah? Check them out. And yeah, if you've made it this far in the video even, let me know if you went the distance. And yeah, whether you agree with me, disagree with me, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. You are all appreciated. Thank you very much.